Okay, welcome to the Secondary 2 Geographical Investigation 2022 briefing. Right, so for this year, your GI will be on the Tiong Bahru Housing Estate, and it will be done via a VR fieldwork experience. So you will not have to physically visit the Tiong Bahru area. You will be using a VR package that is mounted on Metapod for this particular GI. Details of the GI, the area that we're focusing on would be the Tiong Bahru Estate, very near our actual school area. Mode of conducting this GI will be through virtual fieldwork using virtual reality to collect secondary data and also to test your application of GI content knowledge and skills. The topic that we will be focusing on for this particular GI is housing. General concept, specific concept rather, is inclusive housing, which is chapter 9.3 of your syllabus. So it would be nice or useful if you could review the content that we have covered in chapter 9.3 this term. Objectives of the GI. Largely, we are working on this guiding question, which is what makes Tiong Bahru Housing Estate an inclusive housing neighborhood for its residents. So the essential questions that we are looking at are these. Number one, what is an inclusive housing? Number two, what makes an inclusive neighborhood? And finally, why are certain housing features found in Tiong Bahru considered to be inclusive? For the pre-fieldwork component, what are the things that you need to do? There will be 2 lesson recordings besides this briefing that will be mounted for you to acquire and to review content knowledge and skills related to GI. These will be shared in teams under files, class materials, geographical investigation, recordings. They will deal with 2 areas. Firstly, how to generate questions and collect data for GI. Secondly, they will be dealing with the design of survey questions. So you have to watch the 2 additional instruction videos on specifically how to use Metapod as the VR platform. So the first video, the link is in this set of PowerPoint slides, which will be given to you. Right? To access the link, click on the word video 1 in brackets. This will bring you to a YouTube video that talks about the Metapod user experience. How do you generally navigate around it, and what are these things called hotspots, and how do you access the information in the hotspots? The second video, video 2, deals with the using of the measurement function in Metapod. So after you have watched the instructional video on how you generate questions and collect data for GI, as well as how you design survey questions, you need to watch the 2 Metapod videos. How do you actually do the fieldwork then? Now this requires a devotion of a certain amount of time. So you do need to spend some quality time to access both Tiong Bahru VR routes. We have 2 routes that have been mapped. As you go through the experience, you will realize that it is a 360-degree view, which means that you are able to pan, tilt, zoom, or to move around using a finger and have a full immersive experience. So Route 1 deals with the residential area right next to Tiong Bahru Plaza. It is a newer HDB residential area. So you are able to then see within this area what are the features that would make it an inclusive estate. Or maybe you will note that there are actually not enough, or there's totally no feature that you would include as an inclusive estate. Second one will be Route 2. Route 2 is the conservation area, the conserved area around Tiong Bahru Market itself. You will not be able to enter the market premises in the mapping because we have not mapped the area yet, but you are able to walk around the entire area surrounding the market, including some of the shop houses, and you may notice some of the interesting features that are placed around the market and cultural sites that exist around the neighborhood. After you have done the data collection using the VR portal, what do? Post fieldwork, you need to do the following items. These sections in your GI booklet or GI log need to be completed. Okay, you will work with your Sec2 IC groupings. The page numbers for all these areas are actually listed in blue on this slide. So any moment in time you want to have some clarification about what you need to do, come back to this slide and take a look. They range from understanding of the GI question, okay, how do you use the hexagon, to summary of the history and development of Tiong Bahru, to designing 5 questions in section B, which you may need the instruction video that will be parked in Teams for this particular portion, collecting virtual fieldwork data in the form of 2 annotated screenshots to support what you're trying to say in the end, analysis of the data, and then finally, your group needs to come up with a group reflection. And that will be all you need to do for the post-fieldwork process. So note that you can carry out the fieldwork on your own individually. However, when you're coming up with the answers for the post-fieldwork component, some measure of group discussion is required. Now, given that you may not be able to have the logistics to meet up to do this discussion, one mode that we can suggest is to meet on Teams, right? So use Teams as your common platform should you need to do a meetup and to do some discussion for the post-fieldwork components. So the two routes that are mapped out are the 2 areas you see in this screen that are highlighted in yellow. One of them is from Tiong Bahru Plaza all the way up into Tiong Bahru View, okay, the back end of Tiong Bahru View, where you find some of these interesting facilities and amenities. The second one is, like we mentioned earlier, near the market, okay, stretching down towards Porky Eating House and outwards towards the foodie market. So these are the 2 VR routes that we have mapped for you. So as the route, although the route may not seem like it's very long, it is still of a substantial amount of data that you need to sieve through because the data is actually hidden all around. And as you move along the route, you need to pan continually around. Pan, pause, take a look, zoom in, okay, pinch or pan out to zoom, and try to absorb as much as you can from these routes. Now the good news is if you have had a long day and you've looked at it for quite a while, you may want to take a break and come back another day during the holidays to log in. The other good thing is because these are all mounted online, as long as you have a significant amount of data band, you can actually do this on the go as well. You do not need to do this sitting at home or sitting in school, so please don't come to school unnecessarily. You can do this anywhere. So most importantly, when is this due, right? So this is June holiday assignment. However, given that it is quite extensive, we're giving you a little bit more time to finish up this assignment. So we're giving the assignment to you before the holidays actually begin, and we're going to only ask you to submit the final hand up in July. So 5th of July, on a Tuesday, that I think is the second Tuesday, term 3, week 2, right? The assignment will be due 1700, 5 p.m. You have to submit the assignment, soft copy via Teams. So I hope this provides some clarity about what you need to do for GI in this year.